Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Ohio Dirt Track Podcast. My name is Clint.
And I'm Jacob.
We're glad you are back for yet another episode here on the interwebs. Thanks for tuning in, and we are excited to bring to you another interview this week. It is going to be a rainy week here in Ohio, and we are at a close of our normal racing season. Jacob, you didn't get to go to the racetrack last week, did you?
I had to settle for Dirt Vision on Friday night because Saturday, I believe, got rained out at Port Royal for the Outlaws. So I only got to watch one race Friday night.
Yeah, I've started looking at indoor quarter midget racing that's coming up so I can get my fix here once it starts snowing in a few weeks.
Right. I mean, we got some good stuff coming up for sure. There's even the Fall Classic this weekend at the Big B Speedway up in Gibsonburg. They're expecting 50 to 60 go-karts to go tear around that little track. So that should be a good time for sure.
So hopefully the weather will be good for that Fall Classic at Big B this weekend. I would not be surprised if they had between 80 to 90 go-karts at that event.
Say they're hoping that they can get a gift card for every competitor that shows up between all their sponsors, but it's definitely going to be a chilly day for sure. I believe the high is only going to be about 45 degrees. So, and with everything starting at, I believe, 10 or 10:30 in the morning, it's going to make everything pretty chilly.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see that. I have braved the cold before. I wore my Carhartt overalls to the Sprint Car World Championship a couple years ago, and I could do it again for a go-kart race, I think.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I don't think anything will ever top Sprint Car World Championship 2018 and how cold that was.
Yeah, that was quite the event. So, speaking of go-kart racing, we had a great conversation with Cap Henry this week, and we actually talked a little bit of go-kart racing. So, we're going to give you right now our conversation with Cap Henry. Okay, we're on the phone here with Cap Henry, driver of the Lane Racing Beer Barrel Bourbon number 4 from Republic, Ohio. How you doing today, Cap?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Before we got on the phone here with you, we were talking about Republic. I don't believe I've ever been to Republic. Is that where you grew up, or do you still live there now?
I still live there. I'm actually originally from Bellevue, Ohio. And Republic's just a tiny little farm town. There is there's no stoplights. There's I think 2 stop signs. There's not a whole lot there.
So you spend your time turning wrenches.
Yeah. You definitely drive elsewhere to go do anything.
So do you have what is your full-time work outside of racing, or what do you do when you're not behind the wheel?
I am an assistant manager at an Advanced Auto Parts in Bellevue, Ohio.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah, it's not a bad job. I'm really lucky that my boss at work, she always works around my race schedule, so she lets me go race whenever I need to. And yeah, it's a pretty good deal. I enjoy my job.
So speaking of your race season, Cap, it seems like this is probably about the 20th time I've interviewed you, but this time it's not after the race. So how would you say that your season went this year?
Overall we had a really good year. We weren't quite as consistent as we were hoping to be, and we were last year, but overall it was a good year. We won a total of 5 races, won our first All-Star race, which was really awesome. And we ran up front in a lot of races, but there was a lot of big races that we felt we just didn't really capitalize on, tracks that we should have run well at. And there was a couple of races that I felt that, if I could have done things differently, we would have had a better result. But, as a whole for the team, I'm really happy with the way the year turned out.
So how many All-Star races did you guys run this year? Do you recall?
I don't know off the top of my head. Brett's the one that's, he's the guy that's with all the stats, and the worst part is he just ran over all the stats with me, I don't know, a week ago, and I don't remember how many we ran.
So that night at the Wayne County, when you got your first All-Star victory there, you won that race by a quarter of a second, and that was it was a very exciting finish. I mean, what do you recall about that night?
It was just one of those nights that kind of the whole night everything went the way it needed to go. We went out for time trials. We went quick time in our group by a significant margin. Ran well in the heat race. We knew with how we qualified that we only had to, just make the show and we'd be in the dash. Started up front in the dash and transfer, or ran up front in the dash, won the dash, started on the front row for the feature, and then the features just kind of paced ourselves. And Aaron got there a couple times, and then there on the last lap, I hit a hole and messed up the steering real bad, and we got lucky just to hang on to it because I couldn't really steer it straight. But it was a good race. It was awesome to finally win my first All-Star race and win an All-Star race with the Lanes. It was just a great team effort.
That was definitely up there as one of the more exciting finishes of the year, and it seems like two of the big or most exciting finishes came at Wayne County this year for the All-Stars.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that the finishes always seem to be exciting just because you're drag racing down the straightaways, and it's cool. Buddy Kofoid had a really good race that he ran there too, and it's an interesting racetrack. It seems like every time you go there, it's a little bit different. So it's kind of hard to bank on your past knowledge of what to do, and finally one night we put it all together there.
So of the various tracks that you run in Ohio, do you have one that you would say is your favorite, your home track, where you're the fastest? What tell us about your favorite track in Ohio?
My favorite track in Ohio would have to be Wayne's Field. There's just something about that racetrack that I've always really, really enjoyed, and throughout the years I've had pretty good success there, and we always seem to run up front there, no matter what. No matter whether we start at the back, start at the front. We always seem to manage to get the car up towards the front of the field there. So it's just a fun place.
What are some of the tracks that you haven't been to that you want to get to?
I'd really like to get to some of the stuff out on the West Coast. I'd really like to go out to Larry's up there. I'd like to get to run Chico. I think it'd be fun to go run the track at Vegas once. That stuff out on the West Coast is the stuff I never got the chance to go do. When I did the All-Star deal, we traveled to out to like South Dakota and stuff. So I got to run some really cool tracks through the Midwest there. And, and I've had some opportunities, like when I drove the B-Dubs car, we got to go out there and run some more of the racetracks out that way. So I got to go down. I've gotten to do like Devil's Bowl and stuff in Texas. So I've gotten to travel quite a bit, but all that West Coast stuff would be really cool to do just to see how we compare to what they do, and just the opportunity to go do it would be fun.
It seems like since the California guys can come over here and do pretty well, it'd be pretty cool to see the Ohio guys go over there and do well too.
We need to work out an exchange program since we're getting so many California guys in Ohio.
No, it's the racing out there is so different just to what they're used to. But yeah, it'd be awesome to go do it. But yeah, it's cool to see the guys like Buddy and Macedo and those guys have come over here and run well. So it would be cool to see how we compare up against them on their home tracks.
Do you have any changes, any in the season or the number of races, or what does 2020 look like? I know we just wrapped up 2019, but you got any ideas of new things for the team next year?
We haven't really decided on a schedule yet, but I'm going to be driving the Lane Racing number 4 again with Zach Myers working on it. And I'm sure we'll kind of figure out what we're going to do schedule-wise. Every year we tried to travel a little bit more. So I'm not really sure what that's set up as at this point. We'll find out soon.
So you got together with the Lanes, I believe it was late 2017, I think, or sometime in 2017.
Yeah, it was actually about probably I think it was just past Ohio Speed Week in 2017.
Okay. Right. So and then you guys picked up a win there in 2017, and then 2018 and 2019 you guys have really become some of the cars, or one of the cars to beat in Ohio. So what have been some of those keys to success there?
I mean, the number one key is just that the best thing has been that Brett and his whole family, they don't really put a lot of pressure on me to do anything in particular. So I get to just work on what I feel I have to do and just get to make it happen. But the other benefits have been that we've had some really good really good marketing partners come on board to help us out. J&J Chassis is a huge part of our program. Kistler Racing Engines, Wings Unlimited, those guys. They really help us out and give us a really good package. Lenders have been really, really helpful with our stock program and keeping it right. And we've been really lucky too that just having the right help. Zach Myers came on board this year, and he was a big weight off of my shoulders, not having to manage the whole car program by myself. Having somebody that like Zach that I can trust and have him take care of the race car and know to make decisions. And we've got some really good help. I've had Micah Erdman helping us out since I started driving the car. Last year, Boris were a great help. The Boris family from Attica Racing Park. They let us use their shop, which was really helpful there. We were kind of struggling and tearing some cars up. That we were able to keep the car close to here instead of having to go all the way back up to Michigan to get it fixed every time. And, the whole group has just gets along really well. Everybody has fun. Everybody gets along, and everybody wants the same goal, and that's the team to do well.
I was going to ask, I never want to bring it up, but since you brought it up, there was a couple of weeks this year. Was it back-to-back weeks where you did some damage and had to turn around and pretty quick and get it back out there?
Yeah, so it actually, in 2 weeks' time, we actually tore up 3 race cars. So the one night at Attica, we were running for the Fast Championship, or not the Fast, the AFCS Championship, and we crashed out at Attica. And the same night, Brett was up at I-96 with Ryan Rule running the spare car, and that car actually got flipped the same night. So we put 2 cars back together, and then went back to Attica the next week and tore up another car. So it was a rough couple of weeks there, and but that's where it was really helpful that we had such good marketing partners and everybody, Zach and the whole team, everybody put the cars back together, and we were able to keep racing.
Now, I think a lot of us who are fans and who've never driven a sprint car or worked on one doesn't. You were just saying you have a full-time job during the day, and you probably didn't get to sleep very much, during those weeks making that happen. 2, 3 in the morning working on cars.
No, it was definitely a little bit rough. Like I said, I was lucky that Zach came on board this year, and Zach did a whole lot of work in that time period there. And but yeah, for me it was a lot of late nights. I typically stay at work till 8 o'clock at night, so then I wasn't starting at the shop till 8:30 or later. But luckily everybody worked together, and it was some late nights, but we kept pushing towards the end result, and that was to get back to the racetrack, and it always makes it worth it.
So you keep mentioning Zach, but I know I got to see Zach race a little bit in Clyde, and coming up this Sunday is the Big B. So do you guys have plans for running the Big B Fall Classic this Sunday?
I think Zach plans on racing it, but I do not. I haven't dabbled around in a backyard kart in a handful of years, and I'll keep it that way. But I think Zach might be there.
Do you think the go-kart helps you out any with the 410, or do you just kind of do it for fun?
For me, the go-karting deal is just simply a relaxation. I've raced go-karts on and off since I was a little kid, so for me, it's just fun to go do. And my buddy Micah that helps out on the sprint car, his little boy started racing this year, so it's been fun to be able to go to the go-kart track and help them out and help help a little kid work towards getting better and better. And it's just fun getting to go and hang out and see the kids that are trying to move up and trying to learn. And it's just, for me, it's just an enjoyable experience.
So what would be your advice for someone who is thinking about it? They've got a young